Okay.
Push up my social medias.
We are live.
Just in time for the season. It's winding down. Everything's cool, relaxed. Everybody's taking it easy. No pressure. Nothing whatsoever. At least not here. Not right now. Because it's Wednesday. It's time to sit back. It's time to relax. It's time to talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. That's right. With Vince Stone and Joe Brett. We're going to be doing that for you in just a minute. Kind of in a little bit of a rush, though. Trying to get everything set together at the last minute. I've been behind. I've had to do ADR work this morning, and that threw my schedule sideways. But I'm back home, and we're doing it. There we go. What do we have? Oh, we got live numbers. Look at that. Waves.
Hi, Arthur.
I spent some time, everybody, playing around, resetting our chats, doing the fonts and all that fun stuff, right? I get all that together.
Yeah.
And we use regular chat. Who do we use? Stream Elements for chat. And over here on the right side, you know, where it's got like the little things, you know, you can see it on this shot too. It's up under me. Mm-hmm. Right there. You know, just little notifications. I don't want big explodey walking around GIFs and stuff like that while we're recording a show. It's distracting.
Yeah.
That thing. And I'm like, hey, you know what would be really neat if I could change that to the same font that I've chosen for the chat, which is Orbital. And I find out who has it. It's not Stream Elements, it's the other one. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And they're like, oh yeah, you could do that. For money. Like what? Change the font. They're like, well, that's one of the mini features that you can do if you subscribe for the premium of that thing? Are you serious? Anyway, that's why I haven't changed the font on that. And there's not really a good replacement for it. So what do we got for everybody tonight? We got Linux 6.1 KDE and live open shot. It's going to be a non-linear video editing heavy show, but we do have some good news at the end because there is an update on the Raspberry Pi supply chain, which is kind of interesting in not necessarily positive ways, but hey, some information is better than none. But we are going to be on top of it today, everybody. We will be going live in about 8 minutes, so you got plenty of time to grab drinks, relax.
Do that. Hi, Brother Jellybean.
Else you need.
Here's my mug this week. It's actually part of the emoji collection, but this one is a unicorn. Obviously. Unicorn with rainbow vomit. Do. So I will be right back.
All right, so that is that. Did anybody try The Witcher? Witcher update dropped yesterday. The Witcher HD update. It was about 35 gigs, something like that. It was 35 gig patch update. This is the high res. This effectively brings the, I was kind of nonplussed about it when they showed off the trailer, right? You look at the trailer and you're like, well, that kind of looks like the PC version. In all fairness, the console peasants were going, oh man, it looks so great. I'm like, oof. It does run on Linux. It runs with DX11, doesn't run with DX12 right now. And something that I'm not 100% sure on, but I passed the NV API to tell Proton, like, hey, you know, give me access to the DLSS. And I do have the DLSS menu, but it looks like it's only available for DLSS 3. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope I'm really, really, really wrong about that, because that just turned our free Witcher update into, how much is it? 3080? And that's not going to happen. CD Projekt Red. It's just not. But I'm thinking about it going, oh, and that was another thing. Do you ever do this in save games that you haven't played in a long time? It's been a long time since I played The Witcher 3. It has. It's been a minute. But man, I loaded that save game. And I immediately remembered why I quit right there. It was at some golem, stone golem in Witcher. They're a pain to deal with. I was like, oh yeah, I'm 100% clear why I tapped out right here. Yeah, but you see, I want the good upscaling, Arthurian. I do. I want to use my DLSS 2.0. Which is a better love story than the Portal with ray tracing. Man, I'm not going to call that a dumpster fire, but it's a tech demo. If you're unfamiliar. Earlier I think it was this week. Things are getting blurry. Earlier this week, they released Portal RTX, which is path traced like they did with Quake 2, which is fascinating. I mean, it's technical. It's like, ooh, we can even do this, which is kind of jaw-dropping that we can do this in real time. You know, something that used to take days to render single frames, that we're playing this in real time. It's kind of a chuggy mess, and I'm not sold on ray tracing as a technology that I care about because it harms rasterization performance so much for so little. And Portal 2 is basically, that was always the running joke, is like, but look at the reflections in the mud puddle. They're amazing. And I feel like I'm in a mud puddle gallery, and I can just walk around, I'm like, yeah, look at that light bounce around. Like, that doesn't blow me away. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. Like the upscaling FSR DLSS, I'm sold on that. I wasn't sold on that at first. I wasn't sold on upscaling until I watched a 2060 play the latest Doom at 2160p 60 on high. I'm like, ooh, I get it now. Sup, B? Yeah, and what do we think about the new AMD cards, man? I don't think anybody was happy about that. Who was it? Hardware Unboxed. What was the XTS? And Hardware Unboxed said that they told all the AIB partners, don't send us any of the XTs. We don't really care about them. Think they're a bit expensive. I think the XT would be a little more interesting if it was, say, I don't know, $600? What were the prices? XTS. Prices. Okay, let's see if we're going to go shopping. They're probably in stock. What do you think? $1,500? I'm looking, everyone. I'm just kind of poking around. Let's see, 7900 XTX, $1,000, $999 for the power color. Here's what I'm looking at, peeps. They're very much in stock, aren't they? But this is good. I want a very strong and clear message to be sent by consumers, people like you and me, to GPU manufacturers and just to the tech industry as well. But especially, we're not going to normalize $1,000 GPUs. You had fun. You got to do victory laps when Ethereum and crypto was the craze. I'm going back to that. And, I'm proud of everyone out there that has at least, I don't even if it's self-control or if it's just a simple thing of like, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a GPU. Like, we're not participating in this. And, and I don't think NVIDIA's completely gotten the message. They backed off a little bit with like the 3080 nonsense, but I've already seen rumors that the 4060 Ti is only going to ship with 8 gigs of RAM. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine trying to release a mid-range card in 2023 with 8 gigs of RAM?
I know. That's...
And they're probably going to try to charge $600 for it.
That's been my irritation with NVIDIA lately. Video RAM when AMD, is on mid-range cards where AMD has at least 16 gigs. It's like,
AMD's got to do something to like sweeten the pot a little bit. Because I mean, if you're buying for like raw speed, NVIDIA just wins. NVIDIA owns the top end by a significant margin. Aw, you got an orange shirt? Cool, everyone. Let me grab a drink and we're going to get underway.
Okay. Oh, hi, Steve Husband. Hi, Justin. Okay, the AMD 7000 series kicks ass, so. Yeah, I was going to get us 6 RX 6050 or 6000, but I think I'm just going to wait for the 7000s. Mm-hmm. Oops. Oh, I am sorry. I forgot to scroll through the Discord. I missed when I came back. Yeah, there's a good picture of Matthew by Michael. Yeah. And there's crew. I didn't know Matthew had that picture. That's a nice one. I'll have to save that one. Yeah, there's a reason I'm wearing this t-shirt today. Woohoo! Aw. Yay. Secret, yes. Oh, you did? Okay, because I've never seen that one. Yeah, that's a really nice shot. I'm going to be saving that, putting it in my Google Photos. Mm-hmm. Do. Yeah, both of those pictures are nice. Yeah, of course, because that was from Ubuntu Summit. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll send, that's a nice picture. I'll send that to Michael too, so he has it. It's pretty sweet. That's a nice shot of you, Matthew.
It looks like you're actively telling somebody they're wrong, Matthew.
That's a really good shot.
All right, everyone. I think I got everything lined up, so we can go ahead and jump into it, Jill.
Okay. Someone boop me in general. I'm like, why aren't they over here booping me? Oh, I see. Okay. It was Mir. Okay.
All right, there we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vin, that's Jill, and that's you at home watching us live here on twitch.tv, listening to us after the fact on the podcast, maybe watching us on YouTube, Odyssey, wherever you may be. What's new? What's fantastic? Chaos month for every single one of you out there. But I do got some good news for everybody. The rectangle parts are slowly pouring in.
Woohoo!
I'm building a Steam box. It's not even really a Steam box. It's a replacement. It's like a multi-function box, but I had to order everything. I'll thank Arthur again for the case. It's got the PSU, so we're good there. I got the RAM. Got the CPU showed up today.
Nice.
And somewhere between today and the 29th of this month, we'll get the motherboard. Thanks, Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, I won the box lotto. I'm no longer jealous, Jill.
Okay.
Of people posting pictures. I ordered just a right angle coaxial cable thing. You know, it just plugs in one way and it changes the angle of the coax cable. It's a right angle. Little tiny thing. Came in a box about that big.
Oh my goodness.
I had no idea what was in the box. I was like, what is this?
Wow. I guess they didn't want to bend it? I don't know.
Open it up. It was mono price too, and I finally got a real. I didn't even take a picture of it. I wanted to punch myself for that, but yeah, it was a little tiny thing in the big box. I'm like, well, I don't know how that happened. That was pretty much most of my excitement. How about you, Jill? What's going on?
Oh boy, a lot. So actually, a few weeks ago, our friends over at System 76 and Cheese Bacon sent me this beautiful and well-made launch-heavy keyboard to review. Woohoo! And it's a customizable full-size keyboard with a number pad, and it was just released last Thursday for $299. And I had actually tested the launch light keyboard with pink switches at the Southern California Linux Expo and really, really loved it. And I've actually been wanting to buy the launch light with pink switches ever since I tested it at scale. So System 76 and Cheese Bacon in our chat made me the launch heavy keyboard with the pink switches. And of course, it's got pink LEDs as well. And they're really nice, Finn. What you'll be happy about is they're the quietest mechanical keyboard switches I have ever used.
That's like saying you have the good type of cancer.
Yes. Well, it's nice because the pink keys live in that sweet spot between, the reds and the browns and are quiet yet tactile. And, this is just be a great keyboard for, Linux coders, developers, and animators who do a lot of number crunching. So it's nice to get a full-size keyboard available from System 76. And I have been really enjoying this keyboard. It's been on my my main podcasting rig here. I've been using it for a couple weeks.
How much?
Secretly. Oh, so it's $299 and it's fully customizable, and it's got lots of really fun RGB unicorn vomit if you would like to like.
So I'm going to ask for the people, how do you control the RGB?
Well, it's really nice because they have a keyboard configurator software, which is great for changing the RGB colors and the patterns. And you have 4 levels of customization on the keyboard for the different. You can assign different functions to different keys, which is really nice. And it comes with a bunch of keys that you can replace the keys that are on here with other keys of different colors. And I even put on this one, there's a System 76 key as my escape and a Pop! OS key down here as my super key. So it's pretty cool. I'm really falling in love with this keyboard.
Hold it up again. Let me take a look.
Okay. So let me try, because I'm using it on the computer, I gotta be very, very careful.
All right.
There we go. That's a better shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks horrifying.
Yes. But, you know, System 76 has just handcrafted a beautiful full-size keyboard, you know, for the Linux community. And,
how does the software come?
Yeah.
No, how does this, as an app image?
I installed it from the Pop! OS software store.
Yeah,
It's
but
a Deb. Yeah.
Is it a Debian? I mean, can I download the Debian
Deb
package?
flat pack. I haven't noticed if there's an app image, but there is a Deb in a flat pack for sure.
So there's just a regular Debian package that I can download.
.deb. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Good to know. Good to know. All right.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Linux kernels.
Yeah, we have a big one. So Linux kernel 6.1 has been released with lots of treasures inside, just in time for the holiday season from Linus Torvalds. Yay! And a major change we have been talking about on LWW for quite some time that has been in the works for the Linux kernel is the inclusion of the Rust programming language. And in Linux kernel 6.1, there is now mainline experimental support for Rust, at least the initial batch, so that Linux kernel devs can now start writing in Rusty code. So that's really, really awesome. And there's lots of new sound hardware support, which ships with Linux 6.1, including initial work for sound support on Apple Silicon, woohoo! Support for AMD Rembrandt with the sound open firmware, and support for audio on the MediaTek MT8186 SoC, expected to feature in new Chromebooks. So we got to support that. And then there's lots of game controllers, which get official support now.
Who's got time to play video games, Joe?
Yeah, from the kernel XPad input driver, including the Xbox One Elite paddles on the original Elite and the Elite Series 2, the Hori Fighting Commander 1 gamepad, including in Xbox mode, and one of my favorite controller manufacturers' latest version, the 8-bit Do Pro 2 wired controller, now has support. I used the small 8-bit Do for when we play games here on LGC and on Trackmania. And there's also several keyboards that now have support made by Wooding keyboards, including their Wooding 1, Wooding 2, 2HE, and 60HE. So lots of much needed hardware support in this version.
Well, you know what? I'm very glad. I was excited that Herder, I'm a Ninja Sloth, is a real boy. Because that was the code name for this. And I was like, really? You're going to stick with it? And like, yeah, we're going to stick with it. But there are a couple of things in here. You know, the kernel is now capable of decompressing, launching itself independent of hardware architecture on EFI systems. That's really neat. Happy to see that. In 6.1, if you get one of these, use AMD CPUs, Precision Boost Hardware Control. That's in 6.1 as well. And the one thing I was curious about, that moment, it's like, where's the LTS on this? Where's the LTS on this? Because traditionally, the last kernel release of the year is the LTS. Maybe it's not going to be the case this year. I don't know. Hard and fast rules, whatnot. I'm waiting for an LTS so I can put it on Jackbox. I didn't get a chance to build that. I'll probably do that this afternoon and try it out. Nothing terribly earth-shattering in this, but it's good to see a bunch of the new game support and gamepad support, I should say. We'll probably be going into that a bit more in-depth on Saturday on Linux Gamecast. But yeah, all in all, a good release. And I did check right before the show. It's not in Debian testing yet. So you probably have to wait until Friday and go ahead and put it in. Katie and Live.
Yeah.
KDN Live was the software, the nonlinear video editor that I first started using when I started chopping up, putting videos on YouTube about 12 years ago. Then it crashed on me, and I lost a lot of data. So I started using OpenShot, but I went back to KDN Live. Now I'm on DaVinci Resolve. I use whatever works at the time. They got a new release out, 22.12. Jill, I want you to hold down the control button and try to scroll on this website. Can you embiggen the text?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
You can?
No.
Well, you just said you could.
Actually, let me.
I'm trying it.
I thought I just.
I'm holding down control, and I'm trying to zoom in for readability. This is what I'm doing. It's just scrolling up and down. I'm kind of impressed, whatever they've done there. So.
Okay, mine's working.
22.12. 530 commits, KDN Live. It's ready for production-ish. The most notable out of all of this is probably the hamburger menu. That's right, kids.
Yeah.
You want to save some space, add an extra click to your workflow. There it is. But joking aside, this is a pretty big release. They got a bunch of neat things in here. And, up to the what's this? This is important. It's a welcome addition for new users. It's going to tell you what the moon glyphs mean in the UI. Because, man, every video editor has its own fresh set of moon glyphs. And you know what? KDN Live can now technically be built against Qt6. That's never going to be a smooth transition. We went through that with OBS Broadcaster. But it does mean, while it builds, might not work as expected. Consider that more under construction. But for our Wayland brothers and sisters out there, they fixed the color picker on the screen, and nothing irritates me more than not being able to pick a screen color on that odd time I need to. I'm like, I need to color match that. Why isn't that working? Then you have to come up with a very interesting workaround, which is usually like take a screenshot, import that into GIMP, get the color code, then bring it back out. And thank you for fixing that, everybody involved on the KDN Live project. You see anything in here that caught your eye?
Yeah, definitely. Something that I actually utilize all the time in other video editing programs. KDN Live now has the ability to copy and paste keyframes using Control-C and Control-V shortcuts. Hello, we've been wanting that feature for a long time. And there's also 2 new buttons have been added to the effects keyframes bar, copy keyframes and paste keyframes. And it's just nice that something we utilize all the time in DaVinci and Premiere and After Effects is now part of KDN Live with easily, manipulating your keyframes.
Well, that's something I definitely have to go back and play around with in KDN Live. I didn't get a chance so far to test out this newest version. In DaVinci Resolve, we do a thing way quicker than copy paste. It has a duplication feature in your keyframe settings.
Yeah.
So you can easily just click on a keyframe, duplicate it right there on the timeline, and just drag it where you need it. So I wonder if KDN Live does something like that as well. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, it does. I have played with that feature, but it's nice to have this included as well, which is pretty standard.
Good to see new standards. Now, when KDN Live crashed on me, I went over to OpenShot, and I used OpenShot for years and years and years and years. And for a while, it was kind of the best thing in town, I mean, you really had KDN Live and you had OpenShot. We didn't have things. We got options now, which is different. We have Olive and what are some other ones, Jill, that you would commonly use?
Yeah, Olive, PityV was a very simple one that
PityV,
works.
PityV,
Yeah,
however you're supposed to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple others.
Well, OpenShot 3.0 is out. It's got all the fun stuff that you would expect. And, right out of the gate, one of the big quality of life improvements, high DPI support, because we're finally getting around to that. And that's brilliant. I'm not picking on OpenShot. I'm genuinely glad that is there. Most of the GUI assets are no longer bitmap. They've been swapped out for vector images. That's nice. Another bonus, Blender support's been bumped up to 3.3. And that's one of the things with like OpenShot that it's had support for a long time. And it's always been a fantastic little thing is the animation templates built in for Blender right out of the gate. So if you've been having problems with previous versions, that should sort this. And work has absolutely been done to improve overall stability in OpenShot. Stability, accelerated timelines. those are kind of like my sticking points that I'm waiting, if I'm ever going to switch off of DaVinci Resolve. And to be honest with you, that's one of the things about DaVinci Resolve is like the idea of my video editor crashing is a distant memory. So I'm glad to see work being done on stability. Mm-hmm. And they've definitely fixed some of the memory leaks so that, they've been testing. It's like, well, if we render out for like 12 hours, it no longer crashes. That's a good thing. The ability to export clips that's been added, and this comes as an app image, so you just go play with it, right?
Yeah, that's what's cool. Just like with Kdenlive, that's how I play with the newest versions of most of the software. If it's available for an app image, that's how I play with it. It's definitely cool. So another awesome thing about OpenShot 3.0 is it has AV1 support. Woohoo! Very good. Especially now since our latest video cards can render out in AV1. And OpenShot 3.0 actually comes with many new export presets, including animated GIFs, MP3 audio only, YouTube 2K, YouTube 4K, MKV, and much more. And the other feature that I was really impressed with, along with how much they've focused on stability in this version of OpenShot, is that the memory footprint has been greatly reduced, especially when you're rendering very long projects that are several hours in duration. And that adds to its stability and its speed. So that's a wonderful feature that they're, really focused on stability.
I do take one issue though. I went to download the app image.
Yeah.
First download links were for Windows.
Oh, yeah, true.
Second one were for Mac. I had to go all the way to the bottom page to get Linux. Come on, man. Yeah, I'd like to go back and play with it. I want to. The one thing I've liked about OpenShot this entire time is at least there's an attempt for the export dialogue.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're trying to play with that and make it better.
It makes the slightest bit of logical sense. I've yet to see any work being done on Kdenlive side of that. That is just. I imagine trying to talk somebody through that if they've never used an LE before.
Yeah,
or even Linux. Like that's where their experience stops unless they're going to Google. So good work, everybody, all around. More stable, more speed. Let's get some accelerated timelines. Let's get some compute built into these things. Let's leverage OpenCL. Let's leverage Coda. Let's come kicking and screaming into like 2018. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So exciting.
So, a couple other things that we're excited. If you like what we do, if we excite you, there you go. That sounds terrifying. You can help excite us. Patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. That's how we finance everything. Go pick a reward. Come hop in our Discord. Come play games with us a couple of times a week. Or just get to know our little motley community. It is fun time. Early access to a bunch of things that we're going to be working on. Give you a little sneak peek. Custom RSS feed. You get the live and uncut series of the shows. It is brilliant. More than you would ever want. Trust me on that. But I got to thank some people. I do. We got to thank Johnny.
Yeah,
not
Patreon.
Angry Johnny. No. Not Angry
Johnny 5 is alive. But this Johnny is alive.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, he could be reaching out and subbing, but our latest patron. Thank you very much, Johnny. Now, another thing we have is like little Amazon wish list. Jill's got one filled with RGB stuff. Pedro's got one filled with home invasion tools. Jordan's had one filled with fog machines. Go watch Saturday's show if you want to see Jordan playing around with his fog machine. And I have one for the studio. That's how you end up on this wall back here. And just kind of helping us stick things together, to just make entertainment stuff. And Joe, DSN Joe, who is currently, you might know him as like setting up the video trucks and stuff for AWE Wrestling, which is entertaining to watch in our Discord right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, man? He writes in, because you can send a little thing in with a Amazon gift. And against my better judgment, we read these. Thanks for everything you guys do for the community. From Joe. Ouch, Joe. You could not have cut me deeper, but thank you, Joe. No,
Yeah. Thank you, Dancing Joe.
Joe's awesome. Joe's been popping in a lot, playing with Trackmania, playing with Jordan on Thursdays, and sticking around the after show. But what did he get? You got this memory RAM. That's right.
Ah, nice, Van.
This is for
your rectangle or your triangle rectangle.
Rectangle, the one you keep calling a triangle.
Yes.
This is the memory RAM everyone loves to hate. When I'm like, what do you use? This is what's in all the systems. This is what's in the Threadripper. It's what's in Jackbox. This is the Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gig kit. Honestly, if it wasn't an APU, I would have been happy putting 8 gigs in it. But, you got to nom some of that RAM up for the APU. 32 megahertz DDR4. It's a workhorse. It's not fancy. And I promise you, I will never mess around with the timings. Everyone at home, I will set it at 32 and I'll be gone with it.
Yeah.
That'll be it. End of the day.
Understand, Van. That's normally what I do too. I want something stable. I don't want to deal with the memory timings.
I'm not going to spend an entire day trying to get 0.5% on a synthetic benchmark that means nothing. I'm like,
yeah.
But you know what? But here's the thing though. If that's what you enjoy doing, that's awesome.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. And me and Van have both done that before. I've been that person where I've spent a day trying to get the memory. Perfect settings.
No, I got the line in the memory. I've never been that person with the memory. I've always, my entire life, ever since those options were made available motherboards, I'm like, why are you wasting your time doing that? Followed by, that's cool that you do it, but it makes no sense to me. But like, go for it. And, we all have our thing is what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
But yeah. No fancy RAM. Couple of things I'm going to be working on for patrons. I've been putting this off just because it's been a time issue because December is an insane month for me for real work.
Yeah.
But I want to do an OBS Jack video to show everybody how all that's stuck together. And another big one that is like slowly coming together. Also, I'm going to be spray painting sound card. That's just going to be a fun video.
It's going to be so cool, Ben.
One of our Vengineering series. It's going to be fun and short. And I got a bunch of little short ones put together, but a big one is taking one of these podcasts. I finally had somebody go back to Saturday if you want to listen to it. Somebody wrote in what I do in our podcasting and audio engineering. A lot of people are getting into mixing and they want to learn how to do the audio side. So what I'll do is I'll take this show and I'll take Linux Gamecast Weekly and I'll export the dry multi-track, which is just, some people call them stems, but it's just the multi-track individual files that people can take and download. I put them on archive.org on our archive.org page. And they can download the full high-res files, put them in their DAW and learn to mix because nobody bothers to take the time to do that for people trying to learn how to do stuff. And, if you're just getting into mixing, you don't have a group of people or the setup to record everyone. So I'm like, here, just use. And somebody wrote in, it's like, hey, that's awesome. I discovered that like 8 months ago and I've been using it to practice. And that was really cool. So what I want to continue on that is to walk everybody through. Let's just say we're going to take like 3 files, stick those together, show you from the ground up how this is done, how you can do it at home and give you all the stuff you need to play along with a video, like a complete, 101 style walk down of how to put together a little podcast for yourself. Because maybe that's something you want to do. And those are skills that if you wanted to leverage professionally at some point, you absolutely could.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to do that. That is interesting. It's going to take some work.
In progress. Yes.
Because I don't haphazardly put stuff out like that. All right. Thank you for your support. Keep being awesome. Come say hi. Come play with us this Friday. Trackmania, filthy.linuxgamecast.com. Bunch of lovely miscreants. If you need that like built-in social group and you like puzzle games, we got you covered. I think we have we got about 4 spots left. We want to keep it around 12 people. 6 is nice. 8's good. 12's just right. So if you do want to pop in, head over to the Trackmania section in our Discord and we'll be there to give you big sloppy rubber hugs.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy because I won 3rd again. 3rd place. 2 weeks in a row.
Did. And you're going to have practice this week. We all got practice this week.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some finicky tracks.
Got some top ones on there.
Yeah.
Just for the holiday. Got some fun ones, got some easy ones, but we got some to there's one particular one that you have to learn how to do a transition, because if you don't do that transition, you go flying off the track, because this is an arcade racing game and it's just good times. Now, Joe Bride,
Yeah.
we have good news for everybody, don't we?
Yes, we do actually. So even
That's the
Upton,
wrong button. I'm not Jill, that's Jill.
Okay. So even Upton, CEO of Raspberry Pi, has a holiday gift for everyone and for me and Ven here on LWW. So despite supply chain issues, they've actually been able to set aside a little over 100,000 units split across 0W, 3A Plus, and the 2 gigabyte and 4 gigabyte variants of Raspberry Pi 4 for single units sales. And even says to consider whether your project is a good fit for Raspberry Pi Pico or Pico W, as these are available more easily and are in a strong stock position. But they expect supply to recover to pre-pandemic levels in the second quarter of 2023. Thank goodness. And to be unlimited in the second half of the year. And actually, even Upton in his article states, although we are sitting on substantial order backlogs from commercial customers, we expect to gradually increase the fraction of our output, which we dedicate to single unit sales next year, until we're back in our pre-pandemic situation. Oh, thank goodness. But as a result of the supply chain crisis, Raspberry Pis will increase in price. And that's sad news for people, especially for people that have to buy lots of them for projects and schools. So the 2 gigabyte variant of Raspberry Pi 4 will return to its original $45 price point. The compute module 4 will increase by $5 from its original starting price of $25. And the price of the Raspberry Pi Zero will increase from $5 to $10. And the 0W from $10 to $15. So that's pretty substantial, but it's understandable. But I am just happy that we're seeing now finally a timeline of when we're going to be getting Raspberry Pis. It's really good news.
So, Joe, what you're telling me is they're going to increase the price on 3-year-old technology?
Yeah, I guess so.
So they're going to be offering me the same, but for more?
Yeah, sometimes double in certain cases. And
for
that's
the past
sad.
couple of weeks, we've been talking about a bunch of different companies offering us more for less.
More, yeah. More power for less money.
Like way more power. Like,
yeah.
Not 3-year-old chips.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, people.
I know.
This is what I've been talking about this whole time. If you haven't listened to me, I'm not Nostradamus, but some of these things really basic to suss out if you look down the road a little bit. Raspberry Pi is still in a tough position.
Yeah, they are.
When we're talking about, when you got somebody like Jordan ordering something other than a Raspberry Pi, you gotta look at it. You're like, And yeah, that's $5 to $10. Like if you're looking for a 0W, if you're looking for 0W still, that's the other issue. Like you hadn't been able to get a 0W for well over a year. You've already found something else. It doesn't matter what you change that price to. Like other solutions are out there. That's what I worry about. Worry about. What would excite me, this falls into the better than nothing category. So kudos to everything that they've done. And I don't want to take anything away from, getting some stock available. That's good. But there's no mention of any stock of 8 gig Pi 4s. Do you know anybody that wants a 4 gig Raspberry Pi?
For, industrial projects, that kind of thing.
Oh, they've been able to buy them the whole time, Joe. We're talking about us.
I know. Those of us that need them for presentations and demos and projects and all the things in schools.
And I'm looking at that is okay, so there's not going to be any availability of 8 gigs. I'm like, that's cool because everything I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks, along with Jill, have 16 gigs.
Yeah. And up to 32.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're saying the best that I can get's 4?
4 gigs. Yeah.
That's
right
a
now.
hard sell, man. That's a hard sell.
I know.
But I just hope everything works out for me. I'm speaking from a place of concern right now. I'm not speaking from a place of anger.
I understand.
This is just straight up concern because I've bought nothing but Raspberry Pis for the last decade. I don't have a ton of them. I haven't went crazy like people, but I don't know. I hope things smooth. I don't want to hear about the Raspberry Pi 5. I want to hear about that 16
me too.
gigs. I want to have that NVMe drive.
Yeah, I think that's definitely coming soon. It kind of has to be able to compete with the other vendors out there, and also
all the new stuff based on that rock chip are just burying it because that rock chip is insane for the value.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I think one of the things that's keeping the Raspberry Pi alive, of course, is their strong community. And,
software ecosystem.
Yeah, it's the ecosystem that's so good with the Raspberry Pi. And I think they'll be able to bounce back as long as it's done in a timely fashion. Mm-hmm. But we'll wait and see, right?
I feel bad for Eben, and because they don't know what their chip allocations are going to be until, it's hard. And I understand that position where you don't want to be there. We're like, I don't want to tell people that this is going to happen when things not going to happen. Play it on the safe side. I just hope everything works out for them. Because they've done such excellent work and they've done such a good job for so long. So,
absolutely.
If you've been waiting to, something's better than nothing. The only thing I worry about is the other things that have been on the market right now are way better. So,
yeah, I know.
Still being optimistic.
Yes. Woohoo!
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, Jill, we did it. 31 minutes. Look at that. Look at that. 31. And maybe, unlike Saturday, I'm going to have some credits because I still don't know what happened. Go back and watch the end of Linux Gamecast last week where I spent the entire 2 minutes of credits trying to get the credits to play and it wasn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Here we go. Let's go on a ride.
I hear them. There they are. Yes. Except this is the LWW ones without the... There we go.
What are you talking about, Jill?
Well, it took a while for the graphics to pop up. But that's right. That's because, yeah. Wow, look at all our wonderful patrons.
Thank you for the resub, Mac Geek. Justin.
Yeah. Woohoo. Thank you to all our Death Notes, to all our Sea Monsters, to our advisors. We love you all. And our chairlings, all the mini chairlings. Thank you so much for helping us out here at LWW.
That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Woohoo. Yay.
All right. Strider, baby, I'm not going to argue with you. You know better than that. Go see if Pedro's busy. He'll argue with you. All right. Yeah, that was good. Right at 30 minutes. So. Oh, hang on. Jill's muted.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I double checked. It wasn't on my side.
Yeah, no, I know. It's my
I was like, did I just mute
my
Jill?
bad.
Why did I do that?
No, it's my bad.
What does that say about me? Did I subconsciously just mute Jill? Like, what?
Yeah, it was my bad.
Oh,
and yeah, so what I was saying is the Kden Live website for on Vivaldi, Control plus and minus works on Vivaldi. It didn't on Chrome for some reason. It was being annoying. But the other thing is my keyboard was backwards, so I had to do
I know your keyboard. Okay, that's why I asked you to pick it back up again.
See, you
If you didn't notice, I was like, hey, Jill, let's get another look at that keyboard.
So I could reverse it. Yeah, I put it down backwards.
I noticed.
That's why when you asked me that, it took
That's
me
why
a while.
I asked you to pick it back up. I didn't want to look at it. No offense to System 76.
Oh, I know. I didn't notice.
Trying to help you out, man.
Thank you. Oh, that was funny.
Let me see. Can I control plus plus with Vivaldi? Yeah, look at that. It does work with Vivaldi.
Yeah, it worked for Vivaldi. It was just Chrome that was acting up with it. But I couldn't test it. Well, I did, but I had to do it reversed, dyslexic. So.
At least I didn't start text messaging you.
Mm-hmm. There's that, yeah.
Oh, man. I'll take a look. Mm-hmm. What is Joe working on today?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture, but I couldn't,
yeah.
To our super secret,
working on the wrestling, setting up. I guess it was at for CNN to, their coverage of the wrestling. Is that who it was for?
I think it's TBS.
Oh,
okay.
AW,
whatever.
Okay.
The AEW. I don't know anything about wrestling, but I got a lot of friends that are into wrestling.
I don't either. Yeah.
Which is strange. Like, that's cool. All right. So it looks like I got the bandwidth estimation thing set correctly. You didn't have any dropouts, so...
No, no, it was nice and clean.
All right. Yay! So it only took like a week and a half to get Jitsi back to running like it was after they've updated Jitsi. That's a new record for me. 90s Attitude Era? I'm at a complete loss. Like, I've had it explained to me. I've had people to sit me down and like, no. It's about the story. And I guess, like with anything else, like you wouldn't want to walk in on Game of Thrones, like Series 6, right? Like, I don't know the backstory to all this and all the characters that are playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have that. Let me check and see how other things are going. Yeah, that's what I was curious about with the System 76 is, give me a link to the page for the software download. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for it right now because I did it through the software center, so I didn't look at the page.
Because I'm going to throw you under the bus, System 76, if I got to have pop installed to use your keyboard.
No, you don't have to have that I know.
I don't think so. I wouldn't assume so.
Yeah. Here, let me give you, here's the web.
Yeah, just drop it in Discord.
Here's the GitHub, so that will link. Okay.
So I got a bunch of questions, like, does it work with OpenRGB?
Okay, there is an app image. Okay. So I didn't look because I was using Pop OS.
I can't hear you, Jill. Somebody's already leaving that YouTube comment. Well, actually, there is an app image.
I know. Yeah, it's on their GitHub.
And that person's going to be from System 76.
Oh, God. Well, that's why I said I didn't know. So, because I hadn't looked at their GitHub. I'd looked at their, I went directly. That's why I said I went directly to the software center.
All right, source core. They got a DMG. Are you getting a DMG?
Yeah.
Okay, app image. Nice. Yeah, that's what it's. So I guess okay. Yeah, Windows, Mac, and Linux. And you know what, System 76? You did the good. You made sure the Linux one was on top.
It's embarrassing because I didn't think to check for the app image. So I didn't
I was just curious.
Because I only used it on Pop OS, so.
Because quite frankly, I would have been a little bit cranky if I had to install Flatpak in order to use something.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a Flatpak because that's how other people I know have used it. Mhm.
Building it is, oh Lord, cargo. Well, let's rust.
Oh yeah, Justin, I like the USB hub.
See, I don't like wires on my desk. Why I don't like wires on my desk? Because this desk also serves as a filming service.
Mhm.
And it's so much easier just to pick everything up off the desk and move it wherever I needed to move it while I put a camera down. Instead of pulling wires and rerouting stuff and moving it around and plugging anything, just pick it up.
Yeah, I know. That's very convenient.
And like, I got so much stuff here on this desk that I can throw at people. It's awesome. You ever try to throw a wired keyboard at somebody? It never hits them. Cable's too short. Wireless keyboard, you can throw at a person all the way across the room. What? They don't stand a chance. Alright, I have that together. Do want to let everybody know about a really fun game that we ran across Saturday night. It's called Loco Soccer. We got a little recording of myself, Michael, Rohit, Pedro, and Jordan playing it. We'll probably be playing it again this Saturday, but it is incredibly cheap. It's got a native Linux version. Here's your free advert on the live stream. It's like $2.99. And it is ridiculously entertaining.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. I watched probably about the first half, and then I had to go to bed.
We had a good time with it. And it runs on
Yeah.
the Steam Deck. I mean, it very low system requirements. Apparently, if you cut it all the way on the high graphical settings, as in the video that's posted on YouTube, it cuts on motion blur, which just turns everything into a blurry mess where you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
So you hear Rohit just screaming. He's like, "What is wrong with this? I can't see anything." And he cuts it down. He's like, "Oh, so much better." So we had a good time with it. And you can wear a traffic cone on your head, which is probably the biggest selling point of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You too can be a safety wizard. All right. That is together. I don't think I'm expecting anything else in the mail today. I want to get this done. Thinking about buying an NVMe for the rectangle. Don't need it though. I was going to put an SSD in there.
Yeah.
Why? It's easier to swap SSDs.
It is, yeah. Especially if that NVMe is on the back of the motherboard.
Oh no, it's not on the back of the motherboard.
Fortunately, they usually have at least one on the top, and I've seen motherboards with it on the back too, and that's a pain.
The like all of these boxes, these three boxes, it's going to be replacing one of these. All of these have a separate SSD in them that is just mirrored. So if that drive ever dies before a show or during a show, it is pop the side, click, click, powered back up. And we're done. Yeah, Arthurian, valid arguments. Less cable, less power. But way more difficult to swap out, especially if we're in the middle of recording, say like a segment on Linux Gamecast between Steam and Neos, which like 10 minutes, I can swap out an SSD drive in either of these three boxes in like 2 minutes. No tools. Yeah, 4 NVMe drives? What? Oh, do you got like one on a riser? More difficult to unscrew one? Yeah, it's a little more difficult to unscrew one when it's on the floor. And I gotta like unplug everything and get the case out and flip it over and screw it like that. And I'm supposed to like reach down there and unplug two things and plug two more things back in and cut it back on. Because you know, especially if you're in a hurry, you're going to lose that M.2 screw. It's going to go flying somewhere. And you know you're not going to have a... You know what? I think I got a couple of spare M.2 screws. That's another service. Dollar Resistor Club, dollar M.2 Screw Club.
Yeah. My latest motherboards have been nice because they have the little hole that keeps the screw in place there, so you don't lose it. That's very convenient.
Like I get NVMEs and everything else. Like Threadbooper's got 3 chunky ones in it. And Jackbox has got one. Didn't need it, but I just wanted to see. Who was it? Hynix.
Hynix has been around
SK
for
Hynix.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hinks. I just wanted to see how their drives. Oh no, I take that back. I take it back. I didn't use the SK. I used the Mushkin.
Oh, the Mushkins.
Yeah. Because they had just come out. I'm like, oh well, I was one try one, and I just bought one. I keep thinking it's like some generic, like fatty Dove knockoff Chinese no-name brand. Every time I open, I'm like, oh no, I got the Mushkin.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a great one, but I just like whatever.
You wanted the classic green.
Oh no, it's.
Is it black?
I couldn't.
Wait a minute, the
tell you.
Mushkins are usually black, I think.
I have no idea. I know it's got a sticker on it somewhere. That's about it. That's the best I can do.
Lately, I've been using Sabrant because they're really fast, really good drives.
Typically, I stick with Samsung.
Yeah, I used to with SSDs, but now with NVMEs, Sabrant. I've got a Samsung one too. God, I've got so many of them now. I've been collecting them. I bought a couple over the Prime days just to have some on hand. I bought a Western Digital one, a Samsung one.
I have like the one oddball in this machine. Like one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, initially I'd gotten the Sabrant Rocket because they supported 4.0. That was a long time ago when they were more expensive.
And surprisingly,
There's
I did
the
a
Kingston.
smart check on that Kingston. That
Yeah.
Kingston is at 98% life.
Nice. Yeah, they've been really good drives for me too, Ben. That's why it's still on my wish list because I use those all the time.
I bought that. It was an insanely good deal. I got it on Newegg. This is when Newegg was still cool, right? And
Yeah.
I got an email notification one morning. And they're like, there's a 250 gig SSD for $99. Normally these things were like $200. I know this was a different time. This is an old drive. It's like 7 years old, and they had it for $99 and I bought it. And yeah, that's my Steam drive.
Yeah. That's what I use my Kingston ones for too.
So I can put one copy of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and one copy of Shadow of Mordor, and that's it. There's 2 games I can have on it. Then I'm out of space.
Yeah, so I've had about 20 of those Kingston drives, the 240s we've been buying over the years, and
Well, that's the
worked
only
great.
240 I have. I use the 120s and everything else.
Oh, okay. I pretty much have got everything on 240s now.
When the
My old machines.
120s were like $15 a piece, I bought a stack of them.
Oh yeah. I have a stack I had bought from eBay that were just being liquidated, and there was a lot of 10 of them, and I haven't even touched them yet. Yeah. had some 120 ones, but I replaced those with 240s a while ago.
All these machines run the 120s. That's why I bought a stack of them, because I needed at least 6 of them. 3, then I needed 3 backups for everything to be cloned on them. Then I got 2 spares. Yeah, like 250 is like a laughable amount of storage these days, considering that, you can get like 8 terabyte drives for what we used to pay for 500 gig drives.
Uh-huh.
How much is a spinny 8 terabyte now? $100? 8 terabyte. Let's see, how much is an 8 terabyte NVMe these days? 1,000? About $1,000?
Yeah, because I was going to say the 2 gig, there was a sale for 2 gig for like 120. So, yeah, I'd say about 1,000.
The 870 Samsung you can get for about $700. That's not bad for an SSD.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then again, this is the beautiful thing about living in our wild and wacky future. You consider SSDs. I remember joking about this. Me and Jordan, before a show, we were talking about, because they just announced NVMe, like, it wasn't out yet. They just announced it. Like, hey, this is going to be a new specification that's going to be out for drive storage. And we were joking. Like, oh man, that's going to be weird. We're going to laugh at, because we just... Like, I think each of us had a SSD, and it was a valuable thing at the time. You're like, oh, we got an SSD. It's so awesome. It's so fast. And it's like, how weird is it going to be when we consider these lightning fast SSDs like slow storage? Here we are. Mm-hmm. Here we are. We're like, oh yeah, put it on like, the slow drives, the SSD, which is fun. Yeah, 2 and 4 terabyte is, they're affordable now. Mm-hmm. Like $150, $200 for a 2 terabyte. Good 2 terabyte.
Yeah, because I remember Prime Day, one was on sale for 120, and that was a great deal. I almost grabbed it.
Yes, Jimmy Itella from Sweetwater. The breakout cable got here just fine.
Yeah.
Don't remind me that I spent $90 on a breakout cable. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
They're good with their communication, though.
They're annoying. They call you.
Yeah. They have good customer service.
Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think everything's in the mail. Like, the 2 things we're waiting on right now, like key components, is the motherboard. I know. We could build it without the motherboard, but what would be the fun in that? And a thermal pad.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. The only things I'm considering is I might upgrade the PSU.
Okay.
Like but like I might throw in like one of these little Samsung environment. But again, that's like might don't need that for the stream. And it might work out very well. Here's the thing. It might be within a day though, because Jill's going to be tied up with family stuff on the 28th, right?
Yeah.
So what might be able to go down, it depends on how things get aligned. I don't want to promise anybody this. We might be able to do the rectangle build.
Oh, that's a good idea.
On the 28th or 29th, and be able to start it,
Yeah.
earlier in the day for all of our brothers and sisters in Europa.
Nice. Yeah,
and
that's
we can
a fun
just,
idea.
have a couple hour long stream where you can, sit back and tell me I don't know what I'm doing. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
What about unreliable 360? What? There's no room in that case for, dude. See, here's the problem. I went down that rabbit hole. I started looking. Like, I could build a custom water loop in that, but I'm good. We don't need it. I got one of those, super low profile Noctuas. That should keep it quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, Mira. 11 years. I know Ven, like me, has some of the early Intel SSDs, and they're still working.
Screw that. I bought the first.
Yeah, spent a lot of money on that. I remember.
Yeah, it was 30, I think 30 gigs maybe. It was, what, $600-700, something like that, which was affordable, considering. And they released the firmware update for it. And I had it set up as a boot drive. I'm like, this is, firmware update. That's neat. What they didn't put in the patch notes is that it formatted the drive to update the firmware. I was mad. I gave it away. But I went back to spinny drives for years. Oh, man. I don't think we're going to do anything crazy with it, Arthur. Like, I'll be happy if everything just works on round one, past one. It's one of those things. I always have that, Schrodinger's PC build. Like, if no one's watching, everything will just work. I'm like, man, something's going to go wrong. Something's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do. Then we can put Debian on it. And maybe I'll put Debian testing. Well, but you know what? I probably will absolutely put Debian testing on it because it's got that APU. And we'll set up Steam. We'll play some games.
Hi,
that's
Velcro
what we need.
Tech. How are you, Velcro?
Boring and just works is how we're able to do this. I got to be able to walk into this room and cut everything on. That's where the time is. I don't have the time to play and tinker, which sucks, by the way, because that's the fun part. Yep, we're just about to wrap it up. You can find all of our stuff on the schedule page on Twitch, though. You get live notifications.
Yeah, sorry, Velcro Tech. Yeah, you just missed everything.
Unless you're on like Lineage, the latest version of Android 12 Lineage on a Samsung S6 using Twitch because for whatever reason, the live notifications refuse to show up on that device.
Oh, I haven't had problems with my S10, but...
I've just given up.
Yeah.
But that was always good to, just when I was walking by it, be like, oh, look, notifications, who's live? No, it just stays playing whoever.
Now you have to launch Twitch. Find out from the
Twitch.
page.
That's kind of the frustrating part because normally that tablet is just like playing Twitch or, YouTube live stream or something. It's a noise tablet in the house.
Yeah.
It sits in the corner. Yeah. And it was always good to walk by and be like, there's something on, like maybe I want to like pay some attention to. So I'd pull down the drop down and like, whatever, I'll just put it on something, let it run. Bag of raisin. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Yeah. The only crazy thing that's in the immediate future is building an Epic gaming PC, which is going to be a lot. It's going to be an information dump. It's going to be a learning experience for all of us. Because I've never tangoed with Epic in a home environment.
Yeah.
And there's some weird stuff we got to overcome. Like stuff that I was thinking about. Check this out. Here's some interesting things to play around with. Fan control. Because despite it being on an ATX motherboard, right?
Yeah.
That BIOS thinks it's in a rack. And it thinks all the fans need to be spinning at 900,000 billion RPMs a second, or it's going to overheat.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to play with that.
there's all kind of weird, and a lot of that's in the IMEI that you have to mess around with to try to get it to balance where it'll just spin the fans without panicking and shutting down. So we got to find a way to lie to it to get regular fan speeds and it's stuff like that. I mean, again,
didn't think about the fan speed. Yeah, but that is an issue sometimes with workstation processors.
Now, if I bought a Threadripper Pro motherboard, they thought of that because it's a workstation motherboard.
Yeah. But server side.
Yeah, this is a straight up server board in an ATX.
Yeah.
The ATX form factor, like. I don't know.
That makes sense.
All of the brains thinks it's in a, 19-inch rock.
Okay.
Sitting in a slot.
With lots of 20 of the whining, spinning small
just
fans.
like a row of like Delta fans sitting halfway through the chassis, blowing everything out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 pizza box racks right here under my desk that I use for rendering, and those things are so loud. I don't let it render when I'm in the house because it's just too loud.
Oh, my Dell Edge router I have down in the basement is a full size rack kit. I mean, it's just sitting on the floor because I'm not buying a rack just for that thing.
Yeah.
And that handles the networking for the rest of the house. And it's a sonic dust buster. You can hear that thing just
That's
constantly.
I have the HP ProLiance. It's the same problem. So, in fact, even maybe a little worse because these are not the full size ones. These are the really thin pizza box ones.
Mm-hmm.
So the fans are like the tiniest you can get, and there's like 20 of them stacked, and horrible. But they do the job.
It does it.
And then I have those Google ones too. I have some of the old colorful Google servers.
Those are nice to look at.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I need to go do the things and do the bits. Jill's got to turn her keyboard back around.
Yeah, I finally did.
Maybe I'll slow down that part of the video.
Okay.
I'll just flip it upside
Embarrassing. Yeah.
I didn't know what else to do other than turn the keyboard around, Jill.
Yeah, part of it is I was just being so careful because you touch the space bar, of course, and it mutes on Jitsi. So I was trying to just not avoid that situation.
Yeah, you need. Here's what you need to do. You need to put it in the dishwasher.
And it actually is nice and heavy. It's very well made. It lives up to its namesake.
Have you
Metal.
smash it against something? See how it holds up.
No, it's got to go back to cheese bacon in beautiful condition. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the only one that they put out to press that has the pink keys. They made those especially for me.
This is why you don't need to send me anything. A, I don't want you to send anything I got to send back because I don't have time for that nonsense. B, step 1 would have been the mayo submersion test. We need to see how long it can operate while submerged in mayonnaise.
Yeah. Yeah, Dustin, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to get the light version for one of my Pop! OS systems. Actually, the computer behind me is one of my Pop! OS gaming systems that I installed the configurator software on and use this keyboard on. Mm-hmm. But I love the light with the pink keys because I like the smaller form factor. So I'll probably get that one. Definitely from Cheesy.
I keep wanting to make one of those like slick mechanical split keyboards. Like those are dope.
Yeah, I could see that would be very good for your hands because you have big hands.
But, like I already got this thing, and I can't, there's not a complaint with it. I thought it was going to have some problems, but I've never had a problem with this thing. Like, I'm going to buy another one just to, it's going to be one of those things. It serves its function. It's good to type on. It's completely silent. So, and it's wireless.
Yeah. Yes. You need that.
And it's wireless, and you could be on the other side of the house. Other side of the house, people.
Yeah, and it works.
While you're cleaning it.
Yeah. Most of my other computers, I'm using wireless, just standard RF. I don't usually use the Bluetooth.
And about halfway through cleaning it, you realize it's still on. And your desktop's up. And OBS is open.
Yeah.
Because that's when you decided to clean it before a show. And you're like, oh no, I wonder if I'm live right now. And you come back in and you peek around the corner. Like, oh. Because you have no idea what's on the desktop because you've just been pushing down all the keys, fortunately.
Yeah. Oh, Justin, that's cool. You got yours running purple. Did you get the heavy one as well, or I think you had the original launch, didn't you? You were testing that one out. I remember. I think. Yeah, because I remember you pasting images a long time ago. Yeah, because he buys them for his work. Oh, cool. Yeah, there we go.
I'm just trying to figure out what is going on there.
The original launch.
Yeah, the one you got has a number pad, so at least it makes...
Yeah, it's really... Actually, see, I'm so used to now using 60% or 75% keyboards that I don't like having a number pad, using like for gaming and whatnot. I find myself when I'm trying to game with this, I keep hitting the numpad because there's usually my mouse there. But for a number pad keyboard, this one is nice and sleek. The number pad is close to the main part of the keyboard, so there isn't that empty space. So
yeah, my keyboard doesn't have a number pad on it.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a number pad. It's just wireless.
Yeah, when I need a number pad, I just have a USB one that I plug in. But I like the smaller keyboards for testing out gaming and just doing general work. I'm actually, when I started doing 3D and stuff, I learned 3D animation. I learned my number keys very well at the top. So I didn't have a need for the number pad. A lot of people are trained on the number pad.
Just for like data entry. If you get a bunch of like financial,
that's different. But for animation and art, you're not having to access it all the time, and using the number keys on top was always fine for me. So even when I had a full length keyboard, I hardly ever used the number pad. So
yeah, I've always used
Oh, nice mirror, cool.
Number pads, especially like with gaming, like FPS shooters and stuff like that. I'd always have things mapped to like enter, plus, and minus.
Oh, okay.
And weapon switches for my thumb. Reach over and tap it.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
before we got like the crazy fancy mouses with all the buttons on them.
Yeah, before you had the access to mice with more than 2 buttons.
Right. And like clickable scroll wheels and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I kind of remember doing that back in the day too. Just not recently.
All right, everyone. We're going to call it for today. And I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to do a full backup of the Jitsi box right now. Not right now.
Okay.
But before I do anything else, now that I got all the settings right. And, and then we're going to turn this into a show.
Nice, Ben. Yay.
I might while I'm waiting for that to render and upload, I might go ahead and compile kernel 6.1 too.
Oh, cool.
You know what? I take that. Let me see. Is the RT patch set out for it yet? Kernel RT.
Real-time patch.
Yeah. I got like extra steps I got to take for Jackbox.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I still have the original real-time kernel I installed on this one for when I was using Jack. Although I did upgrade it recently.
Where are we at? We got the XZ. All right. So we got an RT7, RT5 patch that. Yeah. All right, it's there. So I can plop that in. You're curious.
Nice.
Kernel Project RT61. So,
yeah, there it is.
Earners. I can dump that bad boy on and we'll see what happens. Cool. I'll give it a try this afternoon. Maybe.
Cool.
Allegedly. If I don't get around to it, know the spirit was willing. It's just the flesh was old and spongy. And I didn't get around to it. All right. Well, everyone, be awesome rest of the week. I'll be back with Jill Friday with a gang of other people.
Yeah.
For Sharkmania, if you want to come hang out with us there, come do it. If you want to participate, come do it. We're fast and loose with those rules, man. Just come hop in. Have some fun.
Bye, Justin. Bye, Mir. Bye, Velcro Tech.
And of course, Saturday, we'll be back with Linux Gamecast.
Yes.
Weekly.
Bye, Jelly Bean. Brother, hug. I'm going to see my brother this weekend for some Disneyland fun.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Can't hide from them all the time.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This weekend. I had to check the calendar.
I hope so. You don't want to show up and be like, I have to call your brother and be like, where you at? He's like, wrong week.
Sunday. This Sunday.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Bye, everyone. Thank you for the gifted sub, Dusky.
Aww. Wonder if he was watching.